all the good music here that could be listened to right now in my room. And look at these shelves. There's all kinds of music. Some better than others, some worse than others. And I gotta deal with the trash, I guess. Uh, Whatever. Ugh, man. No regular intro this time. This video doesn't deserve it. I actually have a headache right now, which is kind of fitting. I've had it all day actually. After leaving the movie, uh, who would have thought the movie would be the highlight of my day? I had to deal with two garbage albums that just came out on Spotify. Of course, they're going to be coming out physically tomorrow. Um, so yeah, let's talk. Let's try to be calm, cordial, all that stuff. Try to just talk about these albums without trying to go all crazy and stuff because that never does anybody good, does it? Alright, so Afterlife by Five Finger Death Punch and True Power by Prevail. Alright, so I'm going to go in order of which album I listened to first. So that would be Afterlife by Five Finger Death Punch. Um, and then we're going to talk about I Prevail by True. My mind is so messed up. True Power by I Prevail. Two garbage albums. Um, yeah, I'm probably not giving anybody a bit of like. I'm not being subtle at all when I'm saying that these albums are bad. So it's just how bad they are. Let's gauge that kind of a little bit. Let's see which one is worse, I guess, in this review. Um, yeah, so yeah, the Five Finger Death Punch album, Afterlife. You guys probably know that I haven't really had the best history with them. Um, yeah, um, and they've about them making the same music over and over again since 2011 ish. It's probably been even longer than that. Who knows? Um, yeah, people love this band. I don't know why because clearly do not have they don't care at all about like what is actually good music. Instead, they just rely on like the same kind of stuff over and over again. It's dated, and the lyrics are kind of laughably funny uh, and bad, and all of that stuff. So yeah, let's talk about on Afterlife a little bit. So yeah, I actually for both albums I took some lyrical like like whatever stanzas whatever from songs that I felt were really like bad, and I just put them all in to prove to you how bad they were. Like I have them in a notepad here. Um, yeah, so like Afterlife, I could basically sum it up that this is really nothing different for Five Finger Death Punch. Um, I will say though, as one positive, I know I rat on the solos and stuff that they're all the same. That is true here on this album, but I don't think that the solos are necessarily as bad as like grading as they have been on the other albums. Really, only one track on this album I would say gets kind of that bad, which is Gold Gutter. Like only that time. It's only really that time where I think the soloing, um, gets like bad, even though it does stick to like okay, it does stick to the same formula, and that's kind of a shame. But the new guitarist, I forget his name. He replaced Jason Hook in the band, and Let me Google that real quick. Like he does a better job. Like he tries so hard to bring something to this, to something that's basically just worn out plastic. You know, I'm gonna Andy James. That's the guy's name. Like does try a little bit here and there. Like he has some sweeps and like fingering stuff that's kind of some like solo techniques that are interesting and somewhat interesting in some songs. I was expecting it to be bad just all around, like given the other albums are just bad, but like Jason Hook, like it's good that he's not in the band because he would have made this totally terrible. Like in my like Andy James, like even though he's sticking with he doesn't have much to work with because he's in this band, a band with like very the same lyrics and stuff that they've been pumping out, like because that's another issue with this. But Andy James is kind of just a bright light a little bit on this album. Um, there are some moments where I'm like, okay, this isn't so bad or anything like that, and then it just hits me that this is probably like it's just the same thing. There's no real highlights on this album, in my personal opinion. That is like maybe Afterlife because I don't know, just maybe it is Afterlife. I don't know. It's just I don't even know what the worst track on here would be. Like honestly, like because it's so similar to other albums. Like people say, oh, they experimented on this album. Really, really, like it sounds like they're trying to be like country on a couple tracks. Times like these is kind of like okay, I expect to hear this on like K Frog or something like that. Like it's not really that much of a difference from other Five Finger Death Punch albums in the past. Like they've been doing stuff like All I Know and like The End and stuff like that, like for a while. Like and they do it worse and worse each time, and it is because it's the exact same thing. Like and then like you have the Roll Them Bones song. Um, you have tracks like I don't know, like Gold Gutter and stuff like that. That you know exactly what you're gonna get with them. You know it's gonna be Ivan Moody like being ridiculous and stuff and being the joke that he is on the album, and then you know that's gonna be it. So there's nothing really interesting there either. This album isn't very interesting. Of course not, because of course, like it's not. It doesn't attract the ire as much as Got Your Six and all those albums. Like when they were really getting bad and really getting controversial and all that stuff. But it's just boring. It's just so boring to me. Like hearing this, like for like I don't know the eighth time, seventh, eighth time, somewhat from even the ninth time maybe because Wars the Answer probably had some stuff that was like whatever like this is the precedent that they set and then they've been just like replicating that for their entire career. Man, it's just boring to hear it really. It's just like you know what it feels like? It feels like this band just recorded every single thing that every single song that they've ever recorded in like 2011, 2012, 2013 and then just like okay like they're just releasing them 12 tracks at a time and just putting them out for people. There's no surprise in that. Like it just feels like okay it says it's recorded 2021 to 2022 but really these sound like they were recorded in the same session that like American Capitalist was recorded in or like Got Your Six. you know it's not really unique like and they just have Andy James on just as the guitar. The newer members like just performing it just because, oh, this is what the old guys did, and then that we gotta like play them for we gotta learn these songs real well and just play them and all that stuff. There's nothing, whatever. Yeah, this I, I knew kind of what I was getting into with this, and this album really did disappoint on that, and it's bad. Judgment Day is kind of laughable. How it like sounds like really tough and aggressive, and that's not the case. It's very like it's just laughable. It's kind of like a joke. Like I don't take it seriously because like I don't take what Ivan Moody is projecting seriously. He's just so paper thin and stuff. Like there's a lot of cliches on here. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. All that stuff on Judgment Day. Stuff about like God and the devil and how God doesn't appreciate me because I'm a terrible person and stuff. And I'd like to thank the world for failing me. I spitting on my grave, blah 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 blah. I know it makes you sick, but I'm alive. Uh, there's some incredibly cheesy moments too. Like this is my favorite part of the movie. No, I'm not fading to black. This is where you effing scream. Yeah, there's a lot of the f bomb on here. So whatever. There's lyrics like "dance, dance, mf" till the fat bitch sings. Like what the hell? Like I'm a bully beating reaper, cheating supervillain, king of heathens. What? Like I wrote the book on that shit, bound it back, and burned it all down. Like those are some of the lyrics from this album. Like, all right, I mean, they're not good lyrics. I mean, they're at least not as desperate. How do I say this? Like, they're not like. I mean, at this point, we know exactly what this band has in store for us. Like, and it's just it makes it less of an insult than Got Your Six and Justice for None, and even F8. It makes it less of an insult, but it's still not good. And I totally understand if you do like this album, if you do enjoy this, like if that this is your cup of tea, then fine. I'm not gonna go into the whole like fan base of this band and be like, oh, these are monster energy drinking people or whatever. Like, I'm not gonna do that. Like, because I do think that they do know what their audience is, and it's decent. It's gonna be decent for them, but like, they're probably gonna forget about this music, and then probably just go back to like earlier stuff, even some of the bad stuff as well. Like, it's just forgettable. It's totally forgettable. That's the issue with this album is that nothing sticks whatsoever. Even stuff where they're trying to be a little bit different or trying to be a little bit captivating, it still doesn't work. Like the production is the same. Like really, this should be like rock. I don't know why it's categorized as heavy metal. Like they're going metal, they're going like pop, like rock with like shouted vocals in a lot of these songs. Like Welcome to the Circus has that, like a little bit. Like there's just nothing really to just like get upset about, really. Not even the fact that some of these might even chart on the Billboard chart go because you know exactly, you know that's gonna happen. Of course, like there's gonna be some song from this album that active rock radio will just gush over, and then it'll be number one for like 5 weeks, and then it won't be remembered by anybody else in that kind of regard. But the active rock people, like the active rock radio, will just drool over it, like just because it's Five Finger Death Punch, and then that's it. Like, not that they deserve that, but whatever, they don't. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Afterlife is a bad album. It absolutely categorizes. It can be categorized as a bad album. Like their heyday is gone. and their heyday wasn't even that good to begin with. Maybe with the Way of the Fist. Now they're gonna screw it up with a re-recording, which probably would suck too. I don't know, but yeah, it's another bad album from Five Finger Death Punch. I don't know if this is as bad as, like, it's slightly above how bad it can be. It's slightly, because the other albums are also bad, but you know what? It's a two. It's a 3 out of 10, 2 out of 10, somewhere around there. There, That's basically your album. It's the same exact thing over and over again, and it's boring. And I don't know what these people there are saying. Oh, it's a new evolution for them. It's not really. It's just like you're not going to get evolution from this. It's the same. Like Ivan Moody being like an outcast from heaven. Like he's like a whatever, and it's just the same music to back it up. It's it's a boring album. I hate to say, and yeah, I'm not going to remember this one that much come the year. So yeah. Now on to I Prevail with their album True Power. Totally forgettable album title. And would you believe that this album, this I Prevail album, is actually the worst album of the two albums that I listened to tonight? Yeah, you would expect that it would be Five Finger Death Punch because Five Finger Death Punch is bad, and since I hate them so much, you probably would expect them to be worse. But no. So yeah, I Prevail, True Power. Yeah, it's a worse album, in my personal opinion, than the Five Finger Death Punch album. And I know that Rock Reviews just did his short of it and gave it a 7 out of 10. I saw that, and this is not a 7 out of 10. Not even close to a 7 out of 10 album. Okay, in my personal opinion, you can have your opinion, but whatever. But I Prevail, man. Seriously, they took everything that sucked about Trauma, which is a bad album, and they made it worse. And that's exactly what it is on this album. Like this, I Prevail, seriously, is like every bad metalcore, post-hardcore kind of band like that put into one. They finally achieved that level where they're probably just as bad as Escape the Fate or another band. Like probably Escape the Fate. Like they, nothing is good on this album. Not even the closing track, which is Doom, and that's like a piano like thing or whatever. Nothing. It's very artificial. It's very superficial. It's just like that song in particular. It's just probably the least offensive out of all of these songs. Maybe even the intro, but even that is just like whatever. Maybe the bookends too, because like there's Fear and Letting Go isn't nearly as, maybe not nearly as bad as like the meat, and that's actually cold meat. And the cheese is all like molded up, and the bread is all molded up. We got to throw everything away. We got to put everything in the little brown bins, put them out, wait for the garbage truck to come in, and take it out of here. Like, you got, oh shoot, this bread is all blue from mold. It's going to make people sick. That's exactly what the, like, tracks 3 to 14 pretty much are. Like, because this is just generic stuff, man. I mean, you gotta look at the lyrics to Self Destruction, and there you go. That's exactly what you need to know about the lyrics on here. It's all just a bunch of complaining too about stuff like like I don't know, like calling out other people for being terrible and stuff like that. Body bag, for example, like you say fuck this and fuck that. You know, lights out, embrace it. You're like, whatever. OMG, just shut your effing mouth. Like, it's just lame. It is so lame. Like, you got fake here. Like, I am so sick and tired of all your self righteous shit. It's one of the lyrics. Like, like, oh, they got the GD word in here on a 3 tracks actually on Fake on Judgment Day, which it's another album. The song Judgment Day that sucks, and the single Bad Things as well. Has like, ugh, ugh. Now they're going deep with it. Whatever. It's it's desperate lyrics. I could talk all day about this. Like so unoriginal. It's unforgivable. Like on the song FWYTYK, which is fuck what you think you know. It's another song with abbreviations, kind of like DOA on Trauma, and kind of like what all these bands are doing nowadays, the abbreviations and shit. And it's old, and it's boring, and it's stupid, and it's lazy, and it's totally lazy. They say this record isn't ever going to make it. No, it didn't make it. You're right about that. Finally, something that's to the point about this experience. Like saying that writing lyrics about how this record isn't ever going to make it. It didn't make it. Didn't make it to 10 out of 10. That's for freaking sure. Like, and then you got tons of songs on here that have this stupid thing where they end the song suddenly with no third chord. Like they just lazily just done, done. No, we're not even gonna give you a third chord. Like on Dead End, on freaking, I don't remember what song. The Negative, probably, maybe Closure. I think Closure was the one. Like, and it's just like shit. Like, like you're so lazy. Like this happened on their last album too. They're so lazy that they end the song on the like before it can even have a build up. Like, and you already got the bad lyrics and stuff, the cliches and stuff, saying like 24/7 we're gonna be 6 feet under on the song Self Destruction. Like we'll go 6 feet deep. Like they're recycling cliches from the previous album, and the more less said about that 6 feet deep line, the better, because I've read it about that cliche for a while. They say dig your own grave a ton of times. There's a lot of stuff about graves and stuff. Like I Prevail's so obsessed with talking about graves, putting people in graves. I'm not gonna be in the grave. Like, um, yeah, what's another one? I'm looking here at the little sheet that I wrote. Reap what you sow. Freaking course, you gotta have reap what you freaking sow on a lyrics, of course, and you gotta have like long live the king. Be like I'm the toughest guy ever. Like I'm talking about like uh, one day you're gonna like bow down to me and all this stuff. Like they're so obsessed with having people like thinking they're tough shit. Like yeah, like when I complain, same day but a different. Screw off. Like that's kind of like with the freaking Escape the Fate song, Not My Problem. That's kind of on the level of that song, honestly. Like, oh, I'm so sick and tired. It's so, like, how old are these guys? And they're just talking about everybody else being shit, like being tougher than everybody else. You know, like, you got, like, lyrics about, like, it's just like, what a freaking downfall from this out from like Lifelines, which was actually okay, and then you get this part of their career, and it's just like they're just the definition of just generic and just painful to listen to music, and they're just not trying whatsoever. Like this is the edgiest music in the world, and I just think that they're so cool writing this music, and it's cliche, boring. Like this album, like just is so reliant on the cliches and the edginess and stuff, and it's just like and how lame it is. And I Prevail is just one of those. Like I don't know why I Prevail gets radio attention, and this album's probably gonna do well, much to my chagrin, because like Architects isn't gonna do like Architects peaking at number 80. You get some of the good stuff in the scene, kind of stuff like North Lane, that's actually trying to do something different, trying to like do things really good and stuff. Like Architects is kind of one of those, and they do stuff way better. If you listen to the new song they have out called Tear Gas, that is miles ahead of what this band is doing. That is like, I don't even know what that is. I don't even know like comparing an ultimate masterpiece into something that's so subterranean and it's like in hell. That's that is basically what Architects is like, running in circles and not even getting tired around I Prevail, who's already tired when it gets in the door. Like, it's so lame, man. Like I could barely even get through this album, man. I took that snapshot of the thumbnail that probably led you to this video, and like it's exactly the reaction I had to this album, man. It's just so bad. Bad. Oh, Moth to a Flame. That's another one. Like, you gotta write about moths going into flames, like that cliche. Like Moths to Flames is a band that's also there and stuff. Like, and they're probably better than this. Like, because at least their album No Eternity Gold is way better than shit. Like, and that album's actually not that bad. Like, they're kind of just generic metalcore. So yeah, this just worst album of the year. Worst album of the year so far. It beat out Secrets with the Collapse, which I already did think was pretty bad. Let me tell you that this right here is the worst album of the year so far. Like, and so I'm not even like, I'm just like, ugh, I Prevail. Ugh. You can think what you want, but let me tell you, this is the shit cake of this year. Like the worst album this year. Um, and I haven't had to complain about a lot this year, which is pretty nice. But you do have like Papa Roach and stuff. Hollywood Undead came out with their album. Islander has Upon a Burning Body, and then you have this, which isn't even trying to care about anything. Like I could go on and on. I've been going for 29 minutes right now about how bad this album. Not technically 29, about how both of these albums. I've been going. I don't even know how long for I Prevail. I could talk all day about how I Prevail sucks and how there's so much better metalcore and all that stuff on it. And how it doesn't even need to have like the trap beats. It makes it sound trendy. How trendy they are. How cool they are. Like, like they don't even care about writing or whatever. I don't even know why there's an audience for this. I don't even know why there's people that like this. Like professional, like critics probably like it. No, it's bad. It's This is what bad music is. So yeah, 1 out of 10. I am very tempted to give it a 1 out of 10 because seriously, just screw this album, screw this. But yeah, just I Prevail, and they're not going to get any better from here. They're probably going to end up like Five Finger Death Punch, where it becomes less bad over time, but this is pretty freaking bad. And nobody's recognizing it except me and maybe some other people out there. I don't know. So, yeah. Hopefully, when you write in the comments about what you think of this album, it is the exact same opinion that I have, but you know what? I can't tell you what to think. So, yeah, just let me know in the comments. There's nobody that chatted on this because they were. I don't get that many people anyway, so I have 0 people here. That's nothing to do with the bands that I talk about tonight. It's just maybe talking helped vent my frustrations about how bad music is. Talking about how bad this album is and how bad the Five Finger Death Punch album is, because at least the Five Finger Death Punch, you know, like we expect this from them. We expect their albums to be the same thing over and over again. It's just like, oh, here goes Ivan Moody again. Here goes the same stuff over and over again. Here goes Kevin Churko again, the producer. But like I Prevail, like I think it's irking me more about this kind of music. That's probably why I am a little bit more peeved about I Prevail than I am about Five Finger Death Punch. Because I thought it was going to be the other way around, but no. So yeah, I Prevail. Nah, it's and Five Finger Death Punch too. Go watch the Metal Meltdown to review the new Five Finger Death Punch album if you want more negativity about this. So yeah, that's all I'm gonna say for this video. Shameless plug to another channel that I think I already did that with Rock. Also, so yeah, I'm just gonna end the stream. So yeah, tell me what you think. This is Scamp Wolf signing out. Take care.